قال إن سألتك عن شيء بعدها فلا تصاحبني قد بلغت من لدني عذرا. Suratul-Kahfi, Surah 18, Ayat 76. Qala, he said, Musa alayhi salam said, in if sa'altuka, I asked you, if I were to ask you, an shay'in, about anything, ba'daha, after it, after what? After this mistake of mine. Remember, Musa alayhi salam had already committed the mistake twice, 2 times by now. Fa then no, to sahibni, you don't accompany me. But in this context, if I say you don't accompany me, that means I am giving precedence to myself. So you don't accompany me. But here, the role is actually reversed. The role is Khidr Islam is playing the role of a teacher and Musa Islam is playing the role of a student. So that translation is inappropriate to capture the connotation that is implied. So rather than you don't accompany me, it should be you don't keep me in your company. You don't let me accompany you. Something like that. Don't is obviously because of the la over there, right? So that is it. You accompany me, you don't accompany me. And I've given you the full understanding now. Then don't let me accompany you. That's the intended and implied connotation. Qad, already, balagta, you have reached, min ladunni uzran. The order is reversed, so you know what to expect now. We will translate uzran first, min ladunni later, but we'll add an emphasis. Min ladunni is from, what should I say? Specially from, min and ladun is min is from, ladun is specially from, ni is the attached pronoun. So specially from me, ladunni, specially from me. But emphasis needs to be captured in the way it works in the language. Every time emphasis is not captured through the same mechanism, right? So every time you see min ladun, you cannot say, okay, instead of from, we will translate especially from. No, it doesn't work like that. So the best way to capture this emphasis over here is, and you have already reached, excuse, especially from me, doesn't sound right. So the way to add that emphasis over here, from my side, instead of from me, especially from me, it is from my side. And udharan, instead of excuse, you have reached excuse from my side, we will say enough of an excuse. This way, we are able to capture the connotation that is implied over here. Already you have reached enough of an excuse from my side. How many times Musa alayhi salam will say again and again, okay, I forgot this, that, so many things. So he's already committed the mistake twice. So he is now making this statement. This statement will have implications, but that will not be understood, especially the last part. Already you have reached enough an excuse from my side, will have implications, but that will not be understandable unless we read ahead in the story, in the history. Right? So as and when we'll come across certain incidents or events, we'll have to cross-reference this verse and explain at that point of time. The construct otherwise was not really that tricky, except for the to sahibni part, which I have explained. Otherwise, it is relatively sort of simple to understand and follow. So we'll read it just one more time, as we always do. Qala in sa'altuka an shay'in ba'daha fala tusahibni qad balagta min ladunni uzran. He said, if I were to ask you about anything after this mistake of mine, then don't let me accompany you. Already you have reached enough of an excuse from my side.